G'day guys, Lemon Eating Cow here, and today I am back with another Final Fantasy 15 Comrades video, and this time I'm going to be showing you a very powerful and detailed resource for Final Fantasy Comrades. Now this is pretty much the database that I've been using to help me do my my weapon upgrade guides and things like that, because if you know how to use it, it'll show you where to get pretty much every item in the game, what the various food buffs do, as well as giving you tips and tricks and other really great information. So a very good resource, and the great thing is it's getting updated all the time. So I imagine as new patches hit, we'll get the new information and updates through that as well. But first I want to direct you to a website, well, Reddit. I'm sure a lot of people know Reddit, but there is a subreddit at the moment named Final Fantasy 15 or FFXV subreddit. I will put a link in the description below. Now, this place is a fantastic source for connecting with other people, just sharing your everyday experiences with Final Fantasy 15, as well as a great place to find tips and guides and just general anything you can want from Final Fantasy 15. It's a really active community. Most of the time there's about 100 and something, maybe 200 people on, and then around the updates you get a big swell of people. So over December I would say it's going to be pretty active. So if you haven't head over there already, then I would say go over and make an account. It's pretty easy to get started and everyone's super friendly. So it's definitely a good place to be. And honestly, if it wasn't for Reddit helping me kind of getting exposure for my guides, I don't think I'd have a channel here at all. So I'm a big fan of that Final Fantasy 15 subreddit. So yeah, over on that Final Fantasy 15 subreddit, there is a guide or a post that was originally posted by a person named Geo Wilson, and he points us in the direction of a Comrades cheat sheet, which is the database that I was talking about before. There is quite a few people working on it at the moment, but as far as I know, as the actual creators, I'm not too sure. I think it might list it in the actual database, but yeah, otherwise. So I will put a link to this post in the description so you can go and read over kind of like the primer to it, and then you click on through to this link and it'll actually take you to an online Excel spreadsheet. Now I'm not that great at Excel. I can only use the most basic functions, but even with my just childish levels of skill, you can find everything on this really very easily. So you start off with a good welcome tab. The tabs can be found, I think on Chrome they're down the bottom, but on my Firefox they're up the top, but they should be pretty obvious. There's quite a few different tabs and they'll split this down into easier to process sections. So yeah, it just says welcome Glaive. It also says that they are doing active updates through the Discord server. Now you can find information about the Discord server over on the Final Fantasy 15 Reddit. I won't share it here just so you can make the extra effort to go over to that Final Fantasy 15 subreddit. But otherwise, we can have a look at the few tabs here. The first one across is the tips and trick tab, which tell you a little bit about the food, the different buffs and stats you get when you choose the different birthplaces in the game. Some tips on weapons and different fights, and some easy farming methods as well. Then we get onto the really juicy stuff. We've got missions and drops, and this lists every mission that we know of in the game at the moment, and it lists them by different regions as well, so it's kind of easy to process. And the great thing is it lists pretty much every item that drops in those missions as well. So if you do a quick say Control F to search, you can say type, if you're looking for the elemental resistance shard, you can just type shard, and then you'll get a you'll get pointed to every mission that has those shards. So if you see anything that you want to do, like if you watch my weapon guides and you think, oh, where did he get that item? Then you can just come over here and search it up and it'll tell you exactly what mission it drops in. So a very powerful resource in that regard. Then we go over to the items tab and you can see every item that does drop. So you can search it in that missions and drop, or you can search it here, and then it'll show exactly what stats they give you when you put this into a weapon or you feed it into a weapon when you're upgrading. Also the elemental resistances it gives, the amount of experience it gives to the weapon when you do it, and the ability it transfers onto the weapon, so, and the source of it as well. So again, Another great one. And all of these are actually, the community makes contributions onto it. And if you guys feel that you have some information about it, you can always comment on it and it may get updated. Then we have a material efficiency tab, which shows you a breakdown of each of the different treasures or monster materials, how much experience they give per point of the particular stat point. So we got strength with, and then it's listed by efficiency. So different items have different amount of experience and different amount of stat gains. And depending on how many points you get per experience gained, then some are going to be more efficient than the others. So this is going to give you a great efficiency table here. So this is almost a must when you're upgrading weapons. You'll notice in some of my guides I was a bit lazy and I didn't use this resource, but I really should have. Then we have a great one, which is the weapon tab, and this shows you where all of the weapons are in the game. But not only that, it shows you how they upgrade or they're remodeling, what the remodel requirements are, and their level and everything like that. So the great thing is it actually lists every single weapon in the game as far as I know, and it shows you where they drop. And then if you go across to the end, it shows you what quests they drop in, if you have to break a monster or anything like that. So incredibly good. It also shows the attack power of the weapon, what skills they're going to get. It's great. It's fantastic. You simply just go down to, it's set out in the different weapon types. You find the base name of the weapon that you want, and then you just follow it across to the right, and it'll go through the remodels or the updates. So I'm going to keep on saying it, but a fantastic resource. It really is. Then we have a breakdown of the weapon abilities here. So it just goes over the different abilities and their effect and where you might actually obtain that skill from. Then it looks like we have a weapons build tab that goes over some few basic weapon builds, but you know, I get the best guides on the internet anyway. No, but really, I think these ones are actually more efficient than my guides. They've actually done some calculating and stuff, so I'd highly recommend checking out this tab as well. Then we have a weapon efficiency tab. I don't know if this was here last time, but it looks like this is the most efficient way to build your weapon or upgrade again. So multiple resources for upgrading your weapon. Then we have weapon experience table, which shows how much experience you need to actually level the weapon. So then you can pick and choose what ingredients that you're going to put into the weapon. If you really like to get down in the number crunching, then this one's going to be good for you. Then we have one that goes over meals and buffs and what exactly they give you. Hopefully in the next patch, this will give you a bit more insight into what buff you want, because we're going to actually have a vendor that we can buy particular buffs off them. So good stuff. Then we have a database here that shows all the different clothing types and where to get them or how to acquire them. And if you have to trade them, what items you need to trade them as well. So another good one there. And then the final tab is the mining tab. So over in the Medasio Hunter HQ, there is a mini game where you can mine the different nodes there. And the ultimate goal here is to find the, I would say, I guess, the platinum ingot, which you can use to buy the Yoshimitsu. But there is quite a few different items that are pretty useful here too. So it's given a selection of the different names of the rocks. You'll notice that when you mine, the rocks are all named something different, and each of them have a different chance to drop different items. So this one gives you a bit of a breakdown on that if you really want to hone in on an item. So yeah, that's just maybe a bit of a long-winded explanation of everything, but that's pretty much the best database for Comrades at the moment. So it needs your input and updates, especially with the new updates coming out. So all hands on deck would be appreciated. But definitely, even if you're not interested in the database, head over to the Final Fantasy 15 subreddit, which is linked down below, and just join up and join the conversation, because it is a really fantastic community with a very good set of moderators as well. So definitely check them out. You might even see me posting every now and then. So guys, I hope this guide was informative for you. If it was, then please leave a thumbs up. If you got any comments or suggestions, then leave them in the comment section below. And if you haven't subscribed already, then please do so. This has been Lemon Eating Cow. Moo.